Dave here with Half Dozen Customs. Got a little side project. My tripod for the GoPro is now Colleen at the moment because my tripod keeps breaking. I had it super glued for a while and it finally broke the plastic to where I couldn't super glue it no more. So I tried a two-part what is it called? It's over here. It's this stuff. It's a UV resin. So, and I have this little UV light that you shine on it, and it makes it hard. And it worked. It hardened the outside, but the inside stayed liquid, so it didn't last very long. It only lasted about a week. So now I tried JB Weld, and I'm waiting for it to dry. It probably will be overnight. So Colleen came up with she came out with an idea. We have this. A GoPro adapter that you can clamp to a pipe, and you can clamps and you can loosen it and adjust it. We can slide it up and down. She brought it out and was like, can you make this work? And I was like, I sure can. So I had this nice plate that was in the scrap pile that actually came with the shop, and I had this pipe sitting over in the scrap pile. So we will weld this to it, and it'll be my new stand. I can slide it up and down, can easily move it around. I don't know if Colleen will like it sitting on the kitchen table when I bring it in to download, but...
You can unscrew it from there.
So let me weld this up real quick and see if we have a new stand.
Are you going to use one of your cool tools to make sure it's 90?
I can, yes. Cleaning that off so we're grounded to the table, so my welder will grind to it.
What is this thing?
It's a welding magnet. Close your eyes.
What for?
We are not grounded.
What?
It is not ground.
Ground on my eyes?
Nope.
Okay.
Try that again.
What?
You can organize it.
Okay.
I probably should have cleaned the plate. Okay. Hopefully it's straight. Looks kind of straight.
Looks like the plate's walking.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just a table.
Yeah.
slide the GoPro down to my work.
Up and
Up
down,
for your viewing pleasure.
Left and right. Ooh, you're able to flip sideways then. Think a long way view.
All because of the other attachment.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you put that other attachment? Oh, it's on there.
It's on here. It's easier to hold.
So she's got this swivel arm that twists and swivels and... Alright. All for your viewing pleasure.
Actually, it's to make your life easier.
Yes, hopefully it will make my life easier.
Because this is gross.
Hey, if it works. So now we have a couple different tripods. We have that tripod that has a regular camera on it. I have another tripod that's in the back there that clips to now as well. And we have this guy. So if I need to get up higher, we can use the tripod. And now we have this guy that is multi-adjustment. So very cool. Thank you, Colleen. Yesterday we built this, what looks to be a stripper pole, but it is the new stand for you guys, for the GoPro. So the GoPro clips around here. It's an actual GoPro mount. I would say it's for like the handlebars of motorcycles or bicycles, whatnot. So it clamps right around here and it's adjustable. You can adjust it up and down and it swivels right to left and forwards and backwards and whatnot. So I built this yesterday. I used it a little bit yesterday. It's awesome. I love it. Way better than my hokey little tripod that came with the GoPro kit that we ordered, which the leg has broke several times on it. I have now tried to JB weld it because the leg keeps breaking off. When I sent pictures to Colleen of me attempting to JB weld it now, she brought me out some different attachments and was like, can you use any of these? Can you make something? And this popped right in my head as soon as she showed me that. So I painted it last night before I went in. Now I'm just going to do a little, just a little bit of pinstriping around the base, just to match all the rest of the tools that I have in here that I've pinstriped on so far. We did it in a semi-gloss black, just like I do with everything else. We'll do some red and white pinstriping on it. I'm just going to do something little and simple on the base here, and we'll see how it turns out. So I have some pinstriping videos on there. I've shown you kind of how I do it, where I have a book called I'm not sure what the name on the cover is, but I call it the Bobo book. And the Bobo book, Bobo was a pinstriper back in the day, and he created a book of all these different pinstripe drawings. So I bought that book. I take copies out of that book. I use these little roller wheels to poke holes in the copy, and then I use my quilt pounce pad to leave little dots everywhere, and then you come back and you draw in over your dots with a pencil, and these are their Stabilo pencils, Stabilo, number 8052. And these you can draw over them and you can pinstripe right over the pencil. So I showed you guys how I did that, and a lot of times I use brushes like these, and these are MAC brushes. These are actual pinstriping brushes, or lettering brushes. This one's actually called the Virus. It's 444-2. And I have a whole bunch of different kinds of brushes. And I used to pinstripe a lot a long time ago, back in my days of drinking, and I felt I was pretty good at it. I had a couple things that I did hit some magazines, so you know, I thought that was pretty cool. And then I quit drinking and I totally lost my touch. I still collect everything to do it, and I still practice every once in a while. I do lettering, I do leafing, pinstriping, but the point of the story was, it has been a long time since I picked up an actual Mac pinstriping brush. So I'm gonna attempt to just freehand something. Excuse me. Like, this guy is my freehand style. So that's just me freehanding it. I didn't draw nothing on. That was just off the top of my head. So let's see if I can. Like I said, it's been a long time since I picked this guy up. Lately I've been doing out of the book and pounce padding, and using my other styles of brushes. So we're gonna just kind of wing it and see how it goes. Not going too crazy. I'm not gonna try and overdo it or whatnot. We'll just see if I can still use this brush. I'll start with red. That one over there, I started with white first. So I already shook these up off camera. This is, I think I've said this in other videos. I may have been using these guys. So RM Diamond, Limco Supreme. These come from my paint company. And what this is this is the label that goes on to the cans. Just like this can has a label on it. That's what these are. And they cut them down. They do pinstriping classes at my paint shop. It's Arnie's Paint Shop in Joliet, Illinois. They do pinstriping classes up there. That's where I learned how to pinstripe. Very awesome gentleman by the name of Jive. He does all the pinstriping in the Joliet area. Well, not all of it, but he does a lot of it. He's well known. He's the one that teaches the classes. He's the one that taught me how to do it. So, but these, they cut these and get them ready for the classes, and I just pick some up when I go there. They gave me a couple of these big, thick books last time. So that's awesome. Yeah, I still try and collect and keep at this stuff, and I've said it in other videos. I use a couple different styles of paint. I recently started using House of Colors within like the last, I don't know, 3 years, I would say. I started using House of Colors. And the reason that I started using House of Colors, I forget who it was. I was watching somebody who's doing a pinstriping tutorial video, and they had explained how House of Colors, you can clear over it with no issues. Some of the other stuff that I use, I have Finesse Pinstriping is one company that I use, and then, you know, your typical One Shot, which is probably one of the most famous painting, lettering, pinstriping paint companies out there. But the Finesse and The one shot, I believe they're oil based. You have to clean them with like mineral spirits. Where House of Colors, you have to clean, mineral spirits don't work, you have to clean it with lacquer thinner. So this is enamel. So I started switching over to House of Colors because I like to clear over my pinstriping. And with the one shot and the finesse, you're supposed to mix in a little bit of your clear hardener in with it so that it has a likewise chemical in there to adhere to. And you have to make sure that it's good and dry before you attempt to clear over it. And me personally, I would suggest, because they dry shiny, I would suggest taking a little scuff pad and very carefully scuffing them before you clear them. But you have a good chance of the other stuff, the one shot and the finesse. If you don't do it just right, and sometimes even when you do it right, it can crack when you clear it. So a lot of times with that stuff, people just go over the top of your clear coat. You get it all clear coat finished, and then you go over the top of it with your pinstriping, which is perfectly fine. That's how most pinstriping gets done. Me personally, I don't like that you can feel it. I would rather it be buried in the clear and you not be able to feel it. So that's why I switched over to House of Color. And so far I like House of Color. It does dry a bit fast, so you gotta, I don't know, I would say work maybe a little faster than you do with your normal one shot. So right now what I'm doing is I'm loading my brush. This brush, this is an older brush and I haven't used it in a while, but it was one of the best looking pinstripe brushes that I have. When I was doing this back in the day, I just replaced them all the time. But some pinstripers out there, they get used to a brush and they get it trimmed and fine-tuned exactly how they want it, and then they cherish those brushes. I need to get into the habit of getting used to one brush and then cherish it and not destroy them. So what I'm doing right now, they call this paleting or loading your brush. You want to make sure that it is loaded full of paint. This stuff's thick, so it's not going to drip off the end of your brush like a normal paint would. So you just want to load this up as well as you can. So when you're using these brushes, so there's like a flat end on the brush here, and then there's like a bubbled end over here where that's where all the bristles of the brush are tied to the stick or the handle. And you always want that flat spot towards your thumb, towards the left. Everybody says always keep it to the left. So I guess if you're left-handed, it would be on your first finger. I'm right-handed, so it's always at my thumb. But yes, there is a particular way that you want to hold this brush. I always try and just run a little pass on my paper and make sure that I'm happy with the way that it's laying out. I have quite the my freehand stuff. I don't know what it is about my freehand stuff, but it always kind of seems to turn out tribal-ish, I guess I would say. So I will be spinning this thing around and making sure that you know, I am comfortable when working with it, but I highly suggest that you get used to pinstriping. If you're learning how to pinstripe and you're a beginner, don't move what you're working on. Don't move it at all. Get used to pinstriping, how that panel sits, because you can't flip a car around to make yourself comfortable. So get used to, you know, if you got to reach around this pole to get to the back to do that, do it. Get used to doing that, because I'm telling you, you cannot flip a car around. You know, one thing I'll tell you is, you know, if you're pinstriping something and you don't like the way it looks, get it finished and let it sit a day and come back and look at it, because it grows on you. I'm telling you, I do stuff all the time and I'm like, I hate it, and then after a couple days I love it. I mean, it really does grow on you. So I'm not doing anything to try and make this match at all. Because like I said, my freehand style is, I would say, a little odd. I don't know if you guys can see how that stripe started to turn out there at the end. You can see that it wasn't laying the paint down. So I need to load the brush, make sure that the brush is well loaded again. There wasn't enough paint on there. Usually you want to do a line or two and then you can pal it again. Now I am not good enough to do this, but I know people who can pull a straight line all the way down the side of the car with one swipe of that jive can do that kind of stuff. I can definitely tell that I am in need of a new brush. Like I said, this brush is old, and they actually make this stuff, it's called brush oil, and you always want to leave your brush soaking in it. I found this brush in the bottom of my box over here, and it was not soaked in oil. I do have a couple other brushes that are sitting in a bag that have been soaked in oil, but they were so bent out of shape, I didn't want to use them. So this piece that I'm pinstriping on too, it was a piece that was in my shop when I moved in. It was solid rust. All I did was hit it with a little 80 grit and I sprayed my black on there. So it is full of pit holes and rust holes and bumps and bruises and all types of stuff. So I am not pinstriping on a nice flat smooth surface. And that is something also that you may want to get used to, because if you're doing stuff like if you're pinstriping on old toolboxes or rat rods, stuff like that, you're not going to have a perfect surface to work on. So they also have, I took a couple classes on it and learned how to do it, and I really like doing it. I haven't done it in a long time, but there's an art form that's called scroll, and it's pinstriping. Like, basically the easiest way to explain it is in circles. You pinstripe in circles. So, and that stuff's really cool. I haven't done it in a long time. I need to get a new brush. It's a specific type of brush. They're called Bobo brushes. The book that I was explaining to you. Man, I am shaky this morning. Do not have a cup of coffee and then pinstripe. I tell you what. So, and you know, if you're shaky, don't let that deter you from doing this kind of stuff. The more you do it, the better you get. So I would just keep going, and keep in mind that this stuff, the reason people like this stuff and the reason that people do this kind of stuff is because it's freehand. It's not supposed to be perfect. Alright, I think I've added enough red. If I keep going, it's going to start to get messy. It's already not the prettiest thing. So here's a Bobo brush, and this is how you do not treat them. Do not treat them like that. That is not supposed to be curved like that. That should be straight. It's because it's been sitting in a cup for probably 5 years. So don't do that. Don't do what I do. So, and another, so if you're going to be using this House of Colors stuff, like I said, you clean the brush in lacquer thinner, and lacquer thinner is horrible for these brushes. House of Colors may actually have a cleaner that they suggest you use, so I would look into that. But if you're going to use lacquer thinner like this, make sure you have brush oil that you can soak it with, because lacquer thinner dries out your brush, and it is horrible for it. If you don't have brush oil, or you can't afford it, you can always use a little bit of trans fluid. Just put a couple little drops on your fingers, and then just, you know, run the brush like this through your fingers with the trans fluid on it until it's nice and soaked. And then when you go to use it again, you know, clean it out with lacquer thinner before you use it, so you can get all that trans fluid out of there. So, and when you're going from, I say so way too much. When you're going from like a red to a white, make sure your brush is cleaned out really well, or you're going to end up with pink. So, and if you're gonna be doing this stuff, I would suggest getting these little easy mix cups. You can get them most local paint places, get them, or you can order them online, or use like a paper Dixie cup. So I have these like little plastic solo cups, and they work fine if you're quick with them. But if you're going to be pinstriping for hours, those things will melt, especially lacquer thinner. Do not put lacquer thinner in those. This paint goes a long way, so don't be scared to put, you know, a decent amount on your paletting pad to palette. Goes a long way, so. The white is so much creamier than the red. Some colors are thick, some colors are not. You can see on this paint stick, maybe you can see it, there's a lime green on there. I had this bicycle, this old Schwinn bicycle that I was doing, and I really wanted to pinstripe it in lime green, and it was so transparent. I couldn't use it. I don't understand how people use it, because it was so transparent. It didn't cover, the bike was blue, and it had white graphics on it, and I was trying to pinstripe around the white with the lime green, and yeah, you could just see the white right through it. It was horrible. I ended up having to just scrap the whole idea. And I don't remember who that lime green was through. Those colors. That's this blue, yellow. No, I think it might have been one shot. It's around here somewhere. So they do make reducers for this stuff, so like the red was a little on the thick side. You know, I probably should have reduced it a little. You can use your automotive reducer in this stuff, but House of Colors makes a reducer, so. Okay, it looks horrible. I'm not happy with it, but practice makes perfect. Keep practicing, you'll get better at it. As you can see, I am not perfect at it. By the looks of that, I can't even say that I'm good at it, but I know by looking at all the other stuff that is around my shop, I'm not horrible at it. But this one, I'll let it sit a day or two, see if it grows on me. And if not, I'll respray this base. I'll hit it with a little sandpaper. I'll respray this base, and we'll try again. So maybe there will be a part 2 to this video. But don't let bad work or something that looks bad deter you from it. Keep going, keep practicing. Eventually, you know, you'll get the hang of it. So, you know, my advice to you is just keep practicing. Practice. They always say practice makes perfect, right? So just keep practicing. You could see, you know, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing it for years and years and years. And, you know, the first time that I pick up a brush like this, and, you know, probably, I'd say it's probably been 8 years or so since I picked up this brush. And you can see, like, you know, it didn't come out great. It's not horrible. I would say it's a good practice piece. You know, if I want to do this base of this thing 10 times, I bet you the 10th time I'd be happy with it. I might even be happy with it on the 2nd time or the 3rd time. Or I might be happy with it when I come out and look at it tomorrow. I could be like, dude, that's cool. I don't think so. It looks like crap to me, but that's just me. Practice, everybody. Pick up a couple of things, a couple brushes, couple colors, some cleaners, some oil for your brush. Maintain your brush. Take good care of it. And keep practicing. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.
Oh.